Pope Francis, born Jorge Mario Bergoglio on December 17, 1936, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, emerged from humble beginnings as the son of Italian immigrants. Initially trained as a chemical technician, he later discerned his calling in the priesthood, a decision that led him to join the Jesuit order in 1958 and culminated with his ordination as a priest in 1969. This early period of his life, marked by modesty and a keen sense of purpose, set the stage for a vocation centered on compassion and service. Before his rise to the papacy, Bergoglio built a reputation as both an educator and a leader. He served in various academic and administrative roles, most notably as the provincial of the Jesuits in Argentina from 1973 to 1979. His leadership during a tumultuous era in Argentine history, coupled with his commitment to nurturing faith and social justice, paved his way to becoming the Archbishop of Buenos Aires in 1998 and later a cardinal in 2001. In March 2013, following Pope Benedict XVI's unprecedented resignation, he was elected as Pope Francis, the first Latin American and the first Jesuit pontiff. Adopting the name Francis in homage to Saint Francis of Assisi, he signaled a transformative vision for the Catholic Church. His election heralded an era of renewed focus on humility, social justice, and a deep commitment to engaging with the modern world's challenges. Throughout his papacy, Pope Francis became synonymous with reform and simplicity. Eschewing the trappings of traditional papal luxury, such as opulent residences and ceremonial regalia, he embraced a lifestyle that resonated with the common people. His modest choices, including wearing a plastic watch and driving a simple car, reflected his desire to align the Church more closely with the struggles and hopes of the poor and marginalized. Notably, his 2015 encyclical Laudato Si brought environmental stewardship and the urgency of addressing climate change to the forefront of global discourse, further underlining his reformist agenda in both church governance and social ethics. Yet, his tenure was not without controversy. His progressive stances on sensitive issues such as his empathetic remark, "Who am I to judge?" regarding questions of clerical sexuality, and his calls for greater inclusivity for divorced and LGBTQ+ Catholics sparked significant debate within more conservative circles of the Church. Moreover, his attempts to confront long-standing challenges like clerical abuse and financial mismanagement inside the Vatican provoked both applause and resistance. Despite the controversy, his dynamic approach and extensive international travels, reportedly making over 47 trips that took him to more than 65 countries, cemented his reputation as a global pastor striving to bridge cultural, religious, and ideological divides. In the later years of his life, health challenges began to take their toll. After experiencing severe complications from double pneumonia, a condition compounded by a chronic lung ailment dating back to an earlier bout of pneumonia, Pope Francis spent an extended period in hospital care. His eventual passing on April 21, 2025, at the age of 88, brought an outpouring of tributes from around the world and marked the end of a transformative era in the history of the Catholic Church. His legacy continues to ignite conversations about modernizing the Church, advocating for social justice, and addressing global crises such as environmental degradation and economic inequality. Pope Francis' papacy was marked by numerous significant events that reshaped the Catholic Church and addressed global challenges. Here are some key highlights. 1. Election as Pope. 2013 Pope Francis became the first Jesuit and Latin American Pope, signaling a shift in the Church's global representation and priorities. 2. Focus on migrants and refugees. His first pastoral visit to Lampedusa in 2013 highlighted the plight of migrants, condemning the globalization of indifference. 3. Environmental advocacy. In 2015, he released the encyclical Laudato Si, urging action on climate change and emphasizing care for the planet. 4. Canonizations. He canonized Mother Teresa in 2016 and other notable figures, including Devasahayam Pillai, the first Indian layman to be declared a saint. 5. Historic visits. Pope Francis made groundbreaking trips, such as his 2021 visit to Iraq, where he met Grand Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani, promoting interfaith dialogue. 6. Reforms and inclusivity. He emphasized financial transparency in the Vatican, appointed more women to leadership roles, and took progressive stances on LGBTQ+ inclusion and other social issues. 7. Pandemic leadership. During the COVID-19 pandemic, his solitary Urbi et Orbi blessing in an empty St. Peter's Square became an iconic moment of hope and solidarity. 8. Human Fraternity Document. 2019 signed with Islamic leader Sheikh Ahmed El-Tayeb. This document promoted peace and coexistence among religions. 9. Addressing clerical abuse. He formed the Pontifical Commission for the Protection of Minors in 2014, though his efforts faced criticism for not fully resolving the crisis. 10. Health challenges and legacy. Despite health issues in his later years, he continued to advocate for marginalized communities and global peace until his passing in 2025. These events reflect his transformative approach to modernizing the Church and addressing pressing global issues. Which of these resonates most with you? Pope Francis introduced several significant reforms during his papacy, aiming to modernize the Catholic Church and address global challenges. Here are some of the key reforms. 1. Financial transparency. He restructured the Vatican's financial systems, introducing audits and oversight mechanisms to combat corruption and money laundering. This included reforms in the Vatican Bank. 2. Increased role for women. Pope Francis appointed women to senior roles within the Vatican, breaking traditional barriers and promoting gender inclusivity. 3. Environmental advocacy. His 2015 encyclical Laudato Si emphasized the Church's role in addressing climate change and environmental degradation. 4. Inclusivity in the Church. He took progressive stances on LGBTQ+ issues, such as approving blessings for same-sex couples in 2023, and advocated for greater inclusion of divorced Catholics. Pope Francis has been widely recognized and respected by non-Catholic communities for his humility, compassion, and progressive approach to global issues. Here are some perspectives. 1. Advocate for social justice. Many non-Catholics admire his focus on addressing poverty, inequality, and the plight of migrants. His visits to refugee camps and his criticism of policies that marginalize vulnerable groups have resonated globally. 2. Environmental leadership. His encyclical Laudato Si on climate change and environmental stewardship earned praise from environmentalists and leaders across various faiths. 3. Interfaith Dialogue. Pope Francis actively engaged in interfaith initiatives, fostering understanding and cooperation among different religions. His meetings with Islamic leaders and his efforts to promote religious harmony have been celebrated. 4. Progressive stances. His inclusive approach to LGBTQ+ issues and his emphasis on compassion over judgment have been appreciated by many outside the Catholic Church.